Have you ever thought about what you would do if an emergency happens at the workplace? Where would you go? What would you do? And how could you be better prepared? We're going to talk about that today on Minuteman Preparedness. We're going to be discussing workplace emergency preparedness coming up next. Hey, so welcome back to Minuteman Preparedness. So today, as I said in the intro, we're going to talk about an interesting topic, and it's workplace emergency preparedness. Now, we're going to break these up into two different segments in this discussion today, because it can be a broad topic, but we're going to hit on everything. So the first breakdown is your basics. And some of this may, remind you of your childhood, but natural disasters and or, a man-made situation, whether it be fire, tornadoes, earthquakes. Some people may live in regions where you have to worry about wildland fires. So the first thing we'll talk about is actual fires. Now, in businesses, as far as I know about everywhere, the fire marshal requires that they have a posted, evacuation route, in different areas, and they have to have fire doors and fire lighting, emergency lighting, and all these different things. But as we did in school, practice fire drills. Now, I know some businesses actually practice this, maybe once or twice a year, whatnot. Probably a lot of businesses that don't because they're probably not required to. But do you know what to do in the event of a fire? Do you know where all of your exits are? Is there only one? Is there two? Is there three? Are you, above the first floor, so you have to utilize an elevator or stairs? If so, if you can't use the elevator, because a lot of times during a fire, the elevators are going to be deactivated, so you're going to have to utilize stairs. Do you know where the stairwells are? Is there more than one? Do you know where they are? Are you able to use stairs? If not, you're going to have to make contact with somebody who has a fire key where they can actually operate the elevator. So do you know where those evacuation points are? Where's your rally point? Where does everybody meet? So management or your supervisor can get a head count and a tally so they know if everybody has exited the building. So the basic principle of just what to do during a fire, how to get out, where to go, things like that. Next, will be kind of regional, these next two, three: tornadoes, earthquakes, and wildland fires. If you live in areas that deal with that type of stuff, does the business you work for, your business, have actual tornado shelters, commercial grade tornado shelters? Or do you have an area within the business where you can go, whether it be a basement, an interior hallway? Earthquakes, what do? Do you get in the frame of the door? Are you, second, third, fourth, 20th floor? What do? You need to have a plan, in place for all of these things of, you have your primary exit, you always need a secondary exit. How do you get to those exits? What to do, where to go. These are all basic primary things in emergency preparedness. You need to know where to go, how to get out, and where you need to meet. You always need an escape plan. So also in the business, most businesses are required to have a basic first aid kit, fire extinguishers. You may be in a business that has a AED, a stop the bleed kit. For those of you who don't know what a stop the bleed kit is, it's a smaller version of an IFAK, an individual first aid kit. So a stop the bleed kit will have a tourniquet. It'll have packing gauze, Z-fold gauze. It may be a nicer one that actually has hemostatic agent, a coagulant for the blood, actually impregnated in that Z-fold gauze. Compression bandage, you should have some shears in there, medical tape, maybe a chem lights, elastic bands, some things like that. But does your business have all of these things? And if they do, where are they? Are they readily available? Can you get to them? Are they in good shape? Some businesses may have these things so they can check it off the list, but it's not in good shape. Parts and pieces are missing, So if they have those things, have you ever looked at them to see if everything is actually where it's supposed to be? And with that, do you know how to use these things like a fire extinguisher? We see them all the time, and I know a lot of people, may think they know how to use a fire extinguisher, but have you actually had training in actual deployment of a fire extinguisher? If you haven't, there's a system called PASS. It's pull, which means pull the pin. A is aim, so actually aim the little nozzle. S is squeeze the nozzle. And the last S in PASS is sweep. So sweep the base of the fire. So pull the pin, aim the fire extinguisher, the nozzle of it, squeeze it, and sweep the base of the fire back and forth. It's a very easy principle. There are videos all over YouTube on how to do it from reputable people, knowledgeable, and from companies. You can also seek professional training with that. But if you're not going to do that, at least go online and watch some videos from reputable individuals or companies to actually see how to do that. The same also goes for the basic use of a stop the bleed kit, the proper application of a tourniquet, how to apply it, where to apply it, when to apply it, and also how to pack a wound, use a compression bandage, bare basic things. If you don't want to seek the actual physical training, load up on some videos, and there are very qualified people on YouTube and companies where you can actually watch this stuff for free. You can read about it from like the TCCC committee, that's TCCC committee. You can go online, read some of their literature, and learn how to do some of these basic things. So if your company doesn't actually have these things, or if they do and they're not in great shape, what I would do, I don't like relying on other people for my safety. I would put together a small bag, little nylon bag that you can carry with you in and out every day of your office, and have a first aid kit in it. Either make you one or buy one of the pre-made ones. They're not expensive. They're not hard to put together. Get you a stop the bleed kit. Again, you can buy the contents and put it together yourself, or you can buy a pre-made one. Have it in a little bag or anything else. If you don't want to carry it in and out every day, have it in your desk drawer so you know where it is. Something else you also need to have in that bag or in your desk drawer is a flashlight, a good quality flashlight. Even a good one like this from the Nightcore, the MT1A Pro. It's like $35-$40 on Amazon. Super nice light, rechargeable. You can also use a AA battery in it. You always need to have a flashlight. If the lights go off, if there's a power outage or something like that in the building, a lot of fire codes require that they have the emergency lighting in there. But what if they don't? What if it's, grandfathered in? They don't have to have it. What if it doesn't work? Don't rely on somebody else. Have your own stuff. Have a flashlight either in that bag where you carry with you, or have it in your desk drawer, along with that first aid kit and the stop the bleed kit. And with that, know where the fire extinguisher is, in your office building. And if they have an AED, know where the AED is. Also, you can watch some videos online. The deployment of an AED is super simple. It talks to you, tells you what to do step by step. It also has pictures, and it tells you what to do, so anybody can do it. I mean, as long as you can hear and you can see pictures and colors of light, you're good to go. So if your business has one, know where it is, know where these items are, know if they're readily available. If they're not, who is in control of that? Who do you need to talk to? So that's very important for preparedness. And what we've just talked about right there is a huge part of workplace emergency preparedness. Just those things right there. Now, we'll also get into what if a situation occurs at your place of business, what they used to call an active shooter when I was in law enforcement, but handful of years ago, it was changed to actually active killer situations, because a lot of mass casualty situations, yes, firearms are used in a lot of them, but edged weapons, knives, machetes, things like that, those are used a lot of times too. And also vehicles, if it's an outdoor event, or if it's a business that has a lot of glass around it and they don't have bollards. And for those of you who don't know what a bollard is, a lot of times you'll see them. It's the big poles or the big huge concrete planters or the big concrete round balls. You'll see them around businesses. They're decorative looking. Those are bollards. Those are there to keep people from driving vehicles into the actual business. So in that type of situation, the federal government years ago came out with a video and a slogan. A lot of businesses showed a video. It's run, hide, fight. So if you're inside of your place of employment and someone comes in there with a firearm or a knife or whatever it may be, a baseball bat, whatever, and they're in there committing acts of violence and hurting people and, potentially killing people, your first option is to run. Get out of there as quick as possible. And that's where we come back to knowing your points of egress, your exit points. If this individual comes in the front door, well, you're not going to be able to go out the front door. Do you have back doors, side doors? Which door can you exit quickly and in a safe manner? So running, getting yourself out of that situation is paramount. So you have to know your exit points. Where do those exits lead? Does the door open up to a parking lot? Is it fenced in that area? Is there sometimes a violation of fire code and that door is blocked by a dumpster, trash cans, things like that? These are things you have to think about. But run, get out of there. The next one is hide. If you're trapped in, a corner office and that individual's right there and you don't have any way of getting out, then you have to hide. That means you go into that room, you shut and lock the door, cut the lights out, barricade that door, push desk, file cabinets, all this type of stuff up against the door, barricade the door, make it where they can't see in, put something over the door, a piece of paper if there's a window in that door, cover it up where they can't see in, put your phone on silent, that way it's not ringing and potentially alerting them that someone's in that room. Block that door up, put your phone on silent, call 911 and give them, answer their questions. And that's what you'll have to do. But also in these situations, the last part of this is fight. You have to be prepared to fight. If it's death or fighting, you need to be prepared to give 110% and give them the most violent action you can put out there is what you're going to have to do. If that's hitting them with your fist, kicking, biting, hitting them with something, that's where this next part comes in. So in every office, there's weapons everywhere. And you just have to open your mind up to think about these type of things. I was somewhere a couple weeks ago and I was sitting there and I didn't even think about it. And then a moment later, I was like, I was just looking around for weapons. I saw in the corner, there was a long metal pole and there were wheels attached to the bottom of it. But I noticed at the base, there was one of the the metal push pins with the spring on it that detaches that pole from the wheels. And I was like, well, there's like a 4-foot steel pole right there. I could use that, saw a fire extinguisher. Right here, every office, every desk in the United States, pretty much. Pair of scissors, use them for cutting. Awesome weapon right here. You know, hold them like that. Jab them in the face, in the eye, in the neck. You can put them on your fingers like that. Use them as a jab. You have your arm here as a little extra block, a little force. Give them that jab. Scissors, awesome tool. Not used for defense. You can use these all day and hurt somebody really bad with a pair of these. Really bad. Go back to the flashlight. Black Scout Survival, he's got one that's a little longer, a little thicker. It has a bezel, which is right here. It's got a serrated bezel on it that screws off and on. You hold that flashlight, it's about yay long, like that. It's got a serrated bezel on it. You can use that, jab somebody in the face, in the eyes, in the nose, in the mouth with that, and you could really put a hurting on them, you know. So you may want to swing by Black Scout Survival, his store, and you may want to look at that flashlight. It's another good option. Something else here. It's a little dagger. It's made out of polymer. It's non-metallic. No metal. No metal in this dagger or the sheath at all. Extremely sharp. No metal. They make them shorter, longer. They make standard knives, push blades, all types of things. They make them out of polymer. They have some I've seen that are made out of fiberglass, non-metallic, no metal at all. Great little tool right here. So like I said again, no metal, non-metallic. Take that as you will. My next item here is something, you know, I just said, kind of gave it away. Fire extinguisher. Right here. Yeah, you use it for putting out a fire. Well, this is a small residential model. The commercial models are a little bit bigger. This thing right here weighs probably a good 4 or 5 pounds. You pull the pin on this and spray somebody in the face with this. Get this charged powder in their eye, and you put this up against their head. You know, pop them like that, hold them like that, swing it at them. You get hit in the head with a 3, 4, 5 pound fire extinguisher after you've been sprayed in the face. You see how much fight you have left in you. This right here is a great weapon. Great, great weapon. So, you know, you have to think outside of the box with these things. If it comes down to that fight, then you're going to have to do something violence of action. You're going to have to be extremely violent, because it's either this lunatic that's come in there to hurt you and everybody else, or are you going to prevail? You know, so you have to think outside of the box. You're in that building, you know, 5 days a week, you know, 8 to 12, 13 hours a day. You know what's around you. You know, there's a broom over there. It's got a solid wood handle. You know, what about that mop? It's got a metal handle on it. You know, I can get to that pretty quick and utilize that if I have to. You know, but the primary thing is to get out of there. If you can't, you know, then barricade yourself, but have a weapon with you so you can defend yourself. And if you decide, you know, you're going to take that step and fight them, or if that is your last resort and they're coming at you and that's the only thing you can do, then do it. But think outside of the box, weapon-wise, if you're in a facility where you can't carry a firearm or a metal knife on you, think outside of the box. What can you do to protect yourself and others? So the key points to this is I would have a small bag. I would have a first aid kit, a stop the bleed kit, a flashlight in it. You know, may also be a good idea inside of that bag to have, you know, just a bottle of water, you know, little protein bar, bag of peanuts, something like that. Maybe a dust mask, you know, if you're in an area that's prone for earthquakes and things like that. You know, a lot of dust can get kicked up. Even in a fire, you know, having a N95 mask on your face, you know, they make a lot of them now that fold fold up, you can throw it in the first aid kit. You know, that could help keep some of that soot and stuff out of your nose and mouth. I would have those things, and I'd have them in a bag. If you don't have them in a bag, at least put them in your drawer so you have them. If you follow these steps that I've just talked about, then you should be pretty well set in your workplace, you know, preparedness wise. So watch it, you know, take notes, rewatch the video, write down some of these things. May get you thinking a little bit. It's not going to hurt you to, you know, have these few things set aside and prepared. Go over that plan at work, know where your exits are, you know, make sure they're free and clear. If they have emergency supplies in the office, know where they are, make sure they're in good shape, but don't rely on somebody else for your safety and your preparedness. Take it upon yourself to be prepared and be ready for any type of situation you can think of. But with that, I hope the information was helpful. Stay safe, have a great day, and Minuteman out.